Sunshine. And I wasn't even recording. Of course I wasn't. Yo, what's up YouTube? Charizma here, and sorry I'm late. I was having too much fun taking trips down memory lane for this video, and also trolling people in my comment section about Naruto versus Ichigo, but that's not what this is about. This video is a special one to me, man. If you want to know why I say yo in every introduction I do, it's literally because Goku says it at the start of every next episode preview. Yes, today we are talking about the big boy. One of the biggest anime manga series of all time, Dragon Ball. I mean, if Shueisha is the WWF of the manga industry, then Dragon Ball has to be like Hulk Hogan, right? Because I'm sure this is what got a lot of people into anime. It's certainly true for me. It's a lot of people's first anime. It's a lot of people's only anime. And I'm super excited to talk about it today because I have a long history with this series myself. What feels like a millennia ago, way back in the ye old age of 2004, one of my cousins brought Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3 over to my house to play on the PS2. I literally knew nothing about the series beforehand, and yeah, all I can remember is seeing Goku's Spirit Bomb Ultimate Attack and a few bits from the story mode, and yeah, I was into it, man. I was a 7-8-year-old kid, prime shonen age. From there, I guess my aunt caught on to my interest in Dragon Ball somehow, and then got her hands on Dragon Ball Z Volume 2. She gave it to me as a gift for like a birthday or something, and yeah, from there I haven't looked back. Yes, my main introduction to Dragon Ball was through video games and the manga. I've played every video game I could get my hands on since then. I've watched the series an unhealthy amount of times, if I'm being honest, including movies, TV specials, OVAs, spin-off series, fan series, parodies, you name it. Hell, my first YouTube channel ever was a Dragon Ball gaming channel. The most popular videos on my current channel still are Raging Blast 2 videos from over 8 years ago. Clearly, Dragon Ball has had an impact on my life in one way or another. And today, I will be ranking every opening, American, Japanese, or otherwise, from honestly half of the reason why I'm an otaku to this very day. The other half is because of Pokemon, but we'll save that for another time. The guidelines for judging these openings, of course, will be music, art and animation, I usually say plot significance, but instead this time let's use popularity, right? Because many Dragon Ball openings represent either entire series or the same exact story arcs. And I mean, it's Dragon Ball. Everything is significant here. And then of course, finally, the almighty nostalgia factor. I've also included movie openings and dub openings, like I said, and I even threw in Dragon Ball Heroes. Fuck it, why not? Everything is game. But without any further ado, let's get started with every Dragon Ball opening, ranked from worst to best. Number 25.
Dragon Ball, the ultimate battle, the martial arts fight between evil and good.
Now, I'm not from Canada or the UK, so I apologize in advance to anybody that finds the Blue Water dub nostalgic. The dub itself is alright, I guess. The best that you can get in a pre-Funimation world, you know? And even they took some time to get in the groove. Look, nothing will be as bad as the Big Green dub, right? That's all I gotta say. But anyways, the Blue Water openings, especially the one for Dragon Ball, if I'm being honest, they're kinda lame. Again, I'm sure this hits different for people that may have watched this when they were kids. I know how you feel. Trust me, my top 10 is nostalgia central. But I must admit that this theme song sounds very Nick Jr.-ish. Very PBS Kids, you know? I know Dragon Ball is quintessential shonen, but just like with the 4Kids One Piece dub, honestly, it seems like they were aiming for an even younger audience than that. I'm talking TVY, like not even TVY7. Not just that, but these graphics here are not flattering at all. Everything seems very low budget here, and I'm not saying that you can't get great content out of that, but at least camouflage it well, you know? This montage of Goku meeting Bulma as well as the subsequent Emperor Pilaf saga is totally fine and all, but they definitely didn't use the most exciting clips in the world for this opening here. This was still early Dragon Ball in all fairness, so a lot wasn't going on anyway. But yeah, this is the bottom of the list for me. I hope I didn't piss off any Canadians. Eating poutine is definitely on my bucket list. I have to do that before I die.
So come on a journey, the fun and excitement are waiting for you. The fun and excitement are waiting for you.
Number 24. Some people call this a Blue Water OP. Some people call this the sequel to Rock the Dragon, the Ocean Dub opening that we all know and love. Regardless of how you grew up with this OP, it's just not as good as Rock the Dragon, is it? For the most part, it's the same exact opening, visually speaking. A bunch of cut together scenes from the first 3 Dragon Ball films, combined with other random scenes from the Frieza arc, and I mean, it's fine. I'll speak about it more when we get to the actual Rock the Dragon opening. But the main reason why this OP ranks so low on my list comes down to the song. It's rather simple and inoffensive, so, you know, it isn't the worst thing in the world, but this opening is definitely missing a certain edge to it, a certain energy about it, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I might just be biased towards the more grungy rock side of Dragon Ball that Toonami introduced me to. It is what it is. Number 23. Man, I still remember when this uncut version of DBZ came out in the mid to late 2000s. Shout out to the OG Dragon Ball websites where I saw all of the trailers for this ultimate uncut edition of DBZ. What a time. You just had to be there. Everything was edgy. I want to say this was the first home release of Dragon Ball by Funimation, excluding the super edited down original release, hence the ultimate uncut edition marketing all over this. However, I never actually watched this version of DBZ because, I mean, by the time this came out, I already had other means of watching the anime, though I was more of a manga boy, if I do say so myself. I'm not an elitist. So this is my first exposure to this opening, and boy is it metal as fuck. I've never seen Dragon Ball Z this intense. Immediately, the red filter, the strobe lights, the rock music, all of this is what I remember growing up as an American watching Dragon Ball. It's insanely nostalgic for me, but that's about all this opening is, to be honest. I enjoy the visual effects here to a certain extent because of the aforementioned nostalgia, but watching it now in 2021, it is just a lot of stuff happening on the screen for no reason. And the theme here is literally just generic rock melody number 6. So yeah, long story short, this opening is one of the aspects of the early Funimation releases that didn't necessarily age all that well, unfortunately. Number 22. I mean, this is pretty much just Don Don Kokoro, right? This is cheating! The lyrics here are a bit off-putting after listening to Don Don Kokoro for so many years, but it's really kinda hard to fuck this song up, let's be real. Like with most Dragon Ball themes, there are multiple versions of the same song, each in different languages, and there are plenty of other versions of Don Don Kokoro that I could have included on this list, but let's be real, if I did that, then we would be here all day. So instead, I kind of decided to just combine all of the different versions of the same song into one, you know, just defining that song as a whole. But I decided to separate this version of Don Don Kokoro from the rest, just because, well, first, I really wanted this list to be an even 25, but also because they changed the cadence of the song so much that you could pretty much classify this as some sort of remix or a freestyle, you know? Again, it doesn't hit the same as Don Don Kokoro, and it sounds like they translated this using Google, but it's enough of Don Don Kokoro to still rank it above any of the other Blue Water dub openings and the mid-2000s abomination that was the DBZ uncut opening. Number 21. Well, it's about that time. We've reached the diamond mine of Dragon Ball content that is the Italian dub. I'm still not entirely sure if all of these openings are real. I've seen various versions of them. Some of them look more like AMVs made by people like you or me, but I checked the comment section under a couple of these videos, and it seems like a good amount of people resonate with these themes from their childhood, so why not? I'm counting it. These Italian openings hit different, bro. It's not the vibe that I immediately think about when I think about Dragon Ball, but the energy in these openings are just infectious, man. It really makes you want to sing along and dance along as well. The vibe is just undeniable. Much like the Grand Tour opening, here we see just various scenes from Dragon Ball GT cut together to provide somewhat of an overview of the series in a sense. The song is 90s Eurobeat as hell, and I love it. It takes a minute to build up, but I get sucked into the vibe eventually. Everybody gets sucked into the vibe eventually. Again, I can't confirm the legitimacy of this opening here. I just pulled this off of YouTube because it looked the most legit. I wasn't watching Italian TV when they were airing Dragon Ball GT back in the day, but for the song alone, this is a very impressive OP, and it makes me want to go clubbing in a partially unbuttoned silk shirt. Number 20. Again, my boys, my Italian boys, my amici, does it once again, dropping banger after banger when it comes to these Dragon Ball openings. This time we're talking about the Dragon Ball Z opening, and Giorgio Vanni does it once again, man. He doesn't disappoint. This time with a song called What's My Destiny Dragon Ball, and boy does this song sound Dragon Ball as fuck. Foreign lyrics to the side for a second. If someone played me this OP and told me it was a Japanese Dragon Ball song and I had no prior knowledge of this opening, I would have believed them because, man, this song is great at capturing the spirit of Dragon Ball, let me tell you. It sounds epic and formidable, you know, like many of the adventures and opponents that Goku has seen over the years. Once again, the opening is just random scenes edited together from Dragon Ball Z. I think the latest clip used here is the one of Goku and Gohan in the hyperbolic time chamber from the Android saga. And once again, I cannot verify the credibility of this opening, but I will say that the editing in this version here is very good. The scenes of Goku versus Nappa and Goku versus Vegeta work very well with the music. While the Italian opening for Dragon Ball GT was more of a GT music video with a hint of club energy to it, this DBZ opening is more of a motivational montage, you know? Something you will watch pre or during an exercise session. Long story short, this opening gets me really fired up and doesn't sound out of place at all with the original Japanese openings. Giorgio does it once again, man. The only JoJo we acknowledge when it comes to Dragon Ball. What would his stand name be? Great music? Hell yeah. Number 19. Right, so let's just get this over with because the less we talk about Super Dragon Ball Heroes, the better. Now, the game is what it is. Not my style of game, but I see why it's so popular. This is not the video for my Dragon Ball Heroes rant, and I totally get how it is essentially all of that 2000s online fan fiction come to life. But honestly, can anyone tell me what the fuck is happening anymore in this anime? My head hurts.
Confusion of the highest.
My opinions on the storytelling to the side now. Dragon Ball Heroes actually has some pretty fire openings, if I'm being honest. Definitely top 20 material. Obviously, it's hard to compete with most of this list in terms of nostalgia, but I rather enjoy the universe mission theme for Heroes if I do say so myself. The verse gets stuck in my head a lot, and the animation isn't bad here either, though I do prefer the animation from the Big Bang mission opening more so. Yes, the Yamamuro era of Dragon Ball can be rather hit or miss, but across 3 openings, we get some pretty cool scenes of Fu lurking in the shadows, the gang powering up to take on the team of Kami and Orin and Hearts, this war against the demons, I guess. Again, I have no idea what's going on anymore, but shout out to the Supreme Kai of Times transformation, it looks great. And of course, the epitome of modern Dragon Ball fan art come to life, Super Saiyan God Future Trunks. Look at him, he's so sexy, right? None of the action in any of these 3 openings is enough to write home about, but the music and the levels of fan service here reaching over 9,000 is enough to keep Super Dragon Ball Heroes at least out of, you know, the bottom 20 to 25. Though I really considered it. Number 18. Chala Hai Chala is that phenomenal of an opening that it can be featured on this list 4 times, and even my least favorite out of all of them is still number 18. In fact, it probably would have been higher had Toei or Funimation added anything new here, visually speaking, to connect back to the special episodes about Bardock and Future Trunks that this opening was used for. Again, all the Westerners were just eating good in DBZ in the 2000s, man. Thanks to Funimation, because while Japan got the regular opening that played before every other episode of the series, which obviously is legendary in its own right, we'll get to it, the US boys received this super dark, half rock, half techno theme song that sounds like it was made for an early 90s sci-fi horror movie. It's another one of those songs that just hits different for me growing up on the Funimation dub, you know, and it honestly fits rather well with the more serious stories of Bardock trying to save his home planet from the wrath of Frieza, and of course Trunks' legendary but quite depressing origin story. It's the song I had on in the background while I was playing DBZ Kakarot once the Future Trunks DLC dropped. It's great, and that guy repeating Dragon Ball Z with that like robotic sounding effect on his voice makes it all the more fitting. In terms of visuals, I mean, it's Chala Hai Chala. You can't lose, bruh. Specifically though, I think my favorite part of this opening might be the scene of Piccolo watching Ozaru Gohan rampage. I just like the way the pulsing bass matches up with the explosion that Piccolo was witnessing. This opening transforms the Chala Hai Chala OP into something else completely, and depending on how you like your Dragon Ball, this could be one of the coolest things ever or one of the strangest things ever. Number 17. Another Italian masterpiece. That's all I got. This opening is great, man. The editing is still a bit amateurish because of little things like certain scenes being sped up very noticeably, and certain scenes having logos and text in the bottom corner, and then other scenes having nothing there. But putting all that to the side, again, these Italian dub songs are just fantastic, man. How many times you want me to say it? This is my favorite of the 3 as well. It's a little bit groovy, like the GT opening. I could see someone creating a dance routine for this, but it's also super inspirational like the DBZ opening. The regular Mako Fushigi Adventure opening that I think most people grew up with didn't have nearly as much action in it as this opening here. I think we can all agree that the original Dragon Ball is the tamest out of all of the different series that we have, but this montage here makes Dragon Ball look as battle focused and as intense as Dragon Ball Z, man. All these clips of Goku's experiences in the 21st and 22nd tournaments, as well as Goku versus Yamcha and bits of the Red Ribbon Army saga edited together with the greatness that is Giorgio Vanni playing in the background, just gets me pumped, man. What else can I say? Watching this opening makes me want to go do some push-ups or something. If an energy drink could be this song, then this OP would be Red Bull or G Fuel. Trying to get them sponsorships, bruh. Number 16. And here we have my favorite opening from Super Dragon Ball Heroes. Still not quite top 15, unfortunately, because once again, the action in this OP ranges from average to non-existent, which is a bummer because, I mean, it's Dragon Ball. And also by this point, I had long since tapped out of watching Super Dragon Ball Heroes, so I even less so know what the fuck is going on in this anime. But I will say that the Big Bang Mission opening, both versions of it, shows off a much wider variety of characters like Super 17, Metacooler, Bojack, Turles, Beerus, Toki's Pokemon evolution, Frieza, Hearts, probably the best thing about Super Dragon Ball Heroes if you ask me, Broly, and many, many more. While I do prefer the Universe Mission song personally, this theme song is still very much Dragon Ball, so it still sounds like a grand adventure at the end of the day. The animation is what really made me rank this one higher than the other one though. The action is a bit but this scene of the universe tree spreading its roots really reminds me of the God Tree scene from the Naruto Silhouette opening, and throughout this opening, the universe tree was just shown a lot of love with the coloring, man. Just look at those leaves. Look at them! Turles gets a really solid power-up scene in the first version of this OP, and then the second version we see brothers in arms, Cooler and Frieza, standing side by side in both of their respective golden forms. And if there's one thing that Dragon Ball has gotten so right ever since tweaking the animation ever so slightly during the Tournament of Power, it's the auras. They all just look so much more robust compared to how they were at the beginning of Dragon Ball Super. And to spice up the opening just a little bit more, Toei even decided to give us some sleek, very modern text animation for the credits, and even the title card as well, which we don't usually see when it comes to Dragon Ball. It's certainly a fine opening, all things considered, but I still can't help but feel like this OP is merely just a microcosm of all of the issues that I think a lot of other people have with this anime. Things just happen. People just get power-ups cause fuck it, why not? It's fan service for the sake of fan service and promoting an arcade game as well, I guess. Number 15. Now that Super Dragon Ball Heroes and all of the other obscure things have been taken care of, we can now get to the meat and potatoes of this ranking list. Welcome to the top 15, everyone, where we haven't quite yet reached all-around elite level, but the openings definitely take a step up, sometimes visually, sometimes musically, sometimes both. Here we have the second opening for the Japanese broadcast of Dragon Ball Z Kai, and yeah, it's no fight it out, but it is still a very nice follow-up to the Dragon Soul OP in terms of song. This opening here is Yamamoto's art style done right, basically. Yeah, it still has that plastic skin look about it in some scenes, but you can't tell me that Vegito in this scene doesn't look clean as fuck here going Super Saiyan. Even the action in this OP. Immediately we see a difference between this and any of the fighting from the Super Dragon Ball Heroes opening. That fighting was like, yeah, let's just phone it in for about 10 seconds until the scene changes. But then here in the Kuzen Zetsu Go opening, Goku versus Majin Vegeta, Gohan and Gotenks versus Super Buu, Goku going Super Saiyan 3 and tussling around with Kid Buu. There's just so much more energy and vigor in these battles. I saw some people in the comments under this OP complaining about spoilers in the opening, and maybe it was sarcasm, I don't know. It's Dragon Ball Z, right? Come on. I'm pretty sure people know who Vegito is without even watching the Buu arc. But yeah, very solid opening, very solid. I just happen to like the other song more. We'll get to it. But first, number 14. For anyone asking, I added the question mark here because yes, Bruce Faulconer scored the Funimation dub of DBZ, we all know this, but there's been this whole thing surrounding him about plagiarism for a few years now, so yeah, now I'm experiencing existential crisis. Is reality even real? Are we living in a matrix? Jokes and issues dealing with artistic integrity to the side though, man have I listened to this song so many times since the early 2000s. Not only was this the theme song to most of the DBZ movies, which I've rewatched an innumerable amount of times, there is absolutely no reason why a DBZ soundtrack should have Pantera, Boy Hits Car, Deftones, and Finger 11 on it. Jesus, American DBZ fans were spoiled, bro, I'm telling you. This theme song was also used for the original Funimation home release, which I actually still have a DVD from, funny enough. It didn't get ruined in the flood, which also cut about 20 episodes out of the anime. I'm glad that this has been forgotten about, to be honest. Now, this was a list based on pure nostalgia, then this opening would be way more towards the top. I think I've watched this version of Chala He Chala more than the actual Chala He Chala opening, which is saying something because I can't count how many times I've watched that OP either. I've watched Dragon Ball a lot of times, okay? That's what I'm getting at here. I think the visuals for We Gotta Power work a little bit better with the song, in my opinion. I just really love the scene of the Great Saiyan Man posing while watching the sunset with the guitar just rocking on in the background. It's great. I can't give any points for animation here, obviously, but damn is this a great track, plagiarized or not. The guitar melody is everything I remember from my earliest days with Dragon Ball. No matter how much the man is canceled, the Faulconer score will forever hit different for me, and a lot of American fans, I'm sure. Number 13. And speaking of the legendary American dubs of Dragon Ball, here we have a remix of one of the most iconic Dragon Ball themes ever. Yes, even up there with Chala Head Chala if you're from a certain generation. Once again, the visuals here are courtesy of the first Dragon Ball Z opening, and by the time we actually get to talking about this opening, I'm sure you guys will be sick of it. Or maybe not. Dragon Ball Z is over 30 years old, and at this point, Chala Head Chala will never die! Anyways, yeah, this was the theme used exclusively for the English dub of Dragon Ball Z Movie 8, Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan, and Funimation did the right thing here setting the tone with this opening. It sounds troubling. It sounds brooding. It really fits the vibe of Broly to a T. Especially dub Broly with all those piercing one-liners and freaking Pantera as his Berserker soundtrack, for God's sake. At some point, you should go seek out the version of this song with the vocals on it as well. Yeah, I stand this era of Dragon Ball so much, man. No cap, bruh. As a kid, I watched these movies so much that there was a period of time where I could recite to you the entire movie script by memory. Yes, I'm sure all the ladies in the room right now are just leaking like a faucet. Even to this day, as soon as the opening is over, Lost in America by Elgato starts playing in my head, and my brain immediately plays through that entire exchange between Goku and Chi-Chi while waiting to secure Gohan's spot in this famous school or whatever. Now, Goku, we're gonna practice this one final time. So, Goku, what are some of your hobbies? Well, to fight strong opponents, I guess. No, you can't say that! You have to say my hobbies are reading and sports. But Chi-Chi, I don't even own a book. It's a bit unusual that I chose to rank this above the regular Funimation dub theme because I think I've listened to that song a lot more, but I almost forgot about this opening, if I'm being honest. My reaction after hearing this song for the first time in a while was magical, to say the least. Number 12. I forgot where or when I first heard this opening. It could have been on one of the many 360p TV rips of Dragon Ball episodes that I spent my time watching when I first got on the internet. Or it could be from whatever random home release any of my friends had back in the day. This is another song just like the Eternal Sacrifice opening where it's just been so long since I've heard this song, man. I forgot it existed for about a decade, but as soon as it started, I began singing along with it like I was just watching the Ocean dub yesterday. It's definitely not on the same level as the Maka Fushigi Adventure opening. That shit is immortalized in the pantheons of anime opening history, but it does still do a great job at evoking that 80s OG Dragon Ball feel. Listening to a song like this makes me just want to travel the world and look for these balls, even though I know they don't exist. Oh, pause? This is honestly less of an opening and more of a montage music video honoring Dragon Ball. A few scenes from the official Dragon Ball opening are added to the mix here, but the majority of this opening includes a bunch of various scenes from the first 20 or so episodes of the anime, showcasing characters like Goku, obviously, Bulma, Roshi, the Pilaf gang, etc. Very inoffensive material, you know, all of this. But it's not the Maka Fushigi Adventure opening now, is it? Let's be real.
You won't believe the magic in those seven balls. Everybody's searching for the Dragon Ball.
Number 11. Shout out to Adult Swim. Going Strong still is one of the last bastions of anime broadcasting on cable television. The lineup for Toonami every Saturday for at least the past 3 years has made me just so proud for the young kids today, man. Watching My Hero Academia and Black Clover at midnight the same way I used to watch Bleach and Full Metal Alchemist. You gotta love it, man. In 2017, Toonami began airing the English dubs for Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Z Kai the Final Chapters, and even though I'd already seen both of those stories before, I still, for the next year and a half or so, watched them every week like this was the first time I was ever watching it. The power of nostalgia, what can I say? I've said all that to say that I've always really enjoyed this opening. Fight It Out by Masatoshi Ono and Dragon Soul just complement each other so well, man. While Dragon Soul has a much more inspirational and triumphant sound about it, representing the bulk of the more serious sections of Dragon Ball Z, if you will, Fight It Out has a more lighthearted and a vintage Dragon Ball vibe about it, somewhat representing the introductions of Goten, Kid Trunks, and Majin Buu. Definitely not the most serious characters in the world. Once again, this animation is Yamamura's character designs at their best. It's the same exact opening pretty much from the Japanese broadcast, only sequenced a bit differently. And call it American bias, but yeah, I prefer this version if I haven't made that clear already. The fight scene between Goku and Majin Vegeta is just awesome, with the chorus playing at the same time in the background. Their punches sync up almost perfectly with the piano keys from the song, and I really appreciate the secrecy of Gotenks and Vegito being held intact, despite, again, most people already knowing who they are. This opening just feels like a blast from the past, you know, reminding me of what it was like watching DBZ Kai on Saturday mornings, or Dragon Ball Z back further than that during the original Toonami days. Number 10.
Stand by for Dragon Ball Z. Coming next.
Damn, 2007 was a great year, for me at least. We had Naruto, One Piece, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, the OG Teen Titans, none of that Teen Titans Go crap, and Dragon Ball Z all in the same night? These kids just don't know, bruh. Around this time of airing, they were showing a lot of reruns from the Android saga, specifically like the Cell Games section with this opening in it, and also I would spend a bunch of time watching Dragon Ball Z episodes on demand, which were often episodes from the Frieza saga and the Garlic Jr. filler arc after this, which also had this DBZ opening. So for me, this kind of was the main Dragon Ball Z opening. The actual OP itself isn't anything too spectacular. I mean, again, a lot of these dub openings were just general montage videos of moments from the series. Nothing that your average YouTuber couldn't put together even 15 years ago. Nostalgia goes a long way with me when it comes to this OP. You know, I can get why certain people might pit like an Italian dub over this because they grew up with it. Well, look, man, it's my list, and this shit right here is the stuff I grew up on. For many years, I thought this song and one other song was the actual theme song for Dragon Ball Z, not Chala Head Chala. Shocking, I know. That last section of the song, that like that is what I associated with Dragon Ball Z first before anything from the original Kikuchi score. I'm sorry. All of my American 90s babies out there, please back me up on this one. This track, Prelude to Conflict, and a lot of the other tracks from the Falconer score may have transformed Dragon Ball into all of the aggressive and overly macho stereotypes that most of the Eastern world already views the West as. And yeah, it's not for everyone, especially once you run into all of the translation errors and script changes. But even Yamcha looks like a savage in this opening. I grew up on this shit, man. What you want me to say? Nostalgia reigns supreme again. Number 9. Look, man, you can't say I didn't warn you earlier in the video. Nostalgia reigns supreme once again. Some of my earliest memories ever of Dragon Ball come from this opening right here, both because of the anime and because of the US release of Budokai 1, which played this song over an early 2000s graphical rendition of the Chala Head Chala OP that we all know and love. The visuals here are still randomly spliced together scenes from the anime, but this will always be some of the best from that hand-drawn, pen-to-paper golden era of animation. When I was a kid, I always assumed that this was all original animation, but that was probably because I went so long without ever watching the first 3 Dragon Ball Z movies, which these scenes are all from. There's also a few scenes included from the Chala Head Chala opening if you keep your eye out for it, and the actual DBZ series, of course. And yeah, I mean, all of this is just edited together so well, to be honest. The most appropriate way to describe this OP is to call it an adrenaline rush, and that's before I even touch on the music. I could go around my neighborhood right now and ask any Dragon Ball fan what's the theme song to Dragon Ball, and a few of them might say Chala Head Chala if they're hardcore fans and trying to be smartasses. Some of them might say Makufushigi Adventure if they're old heads or purists, but most of them would choose the Rock the Dragon intro. I'm telling you, man. Between Budokai 1 and the Ocean dub, this was most people's introduction to Dragon Ball, at least in Pennsylvania, where I'm from. I remember when Dragon Ball Z was stuck in rerun mode for years upon years, never going past the battle against the Ginyu Force because of boring contractual circumstances, even though I was fine because I had the manga and various video games that completed the story for me. I remember the other dimension, quote unquote, and the home for infinite losers, and Piccolo's slime being blood. It was all very silly and unnecessary, yes. Looking back on it now in 2021, but again, man, it's what I grew up on. It's top 10 and it's not 10. Let me be great. Number 8. It's the dawn of a new era in Dragon Ball. Still, 6 years later, I am still excited for the return of Dragon Ball, like I was when Battle of Gods was first announced. We've had the Tournament of Power, the returns of Frieza, Future Trunks and Broly, an evil Goku, the return of the manga, and in the next few years we have new movies and hopefully the continuation of the anime to look forward to, but it all started with this right here. This OP Chozetsu dynamic is incredibly nostalgic, only in a different way. It's kind of a tribute to all of the original Dragon Ball openings looking back on it. Beginning with this beautiful scene of all of the Dragon Balls flying past the sun, shout out to me, of course harkening back to the OG Dragon Ball opening from the 80s, and I love it, man. There's 4 versions of this opening to discuss here, but the first half of each of them are all the same, so we'll start with analyzing this part. Goku and Goten get some quality father-son bonding time in, and to this day, I find it hilarious that on Goku's farm, he grows radishes. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. The OG Dragon Ball crew gets about all the screen time that they get in this entire series pre-Tournament of Power. Trunks trains with Vegeta as they try their hardest to impress Lord Jaco-sama, and Gohan and Videl get a visit from the Krillin family. All great stuff, but obviously, once Beerus and Champa bring the chorus in, things really start to pick up. Random Frieza soldiers get battered, Frieza unveils his new golden form, the Warriors of Universe 6 take the stage, including one of the worst characters to fight against in any modern Dragon Ball game. Future Trunks returns with Future Mai, and Goku Black and Zamasu makes their debuts as well. I've always enjoyed this scene here of Goku teasing Super Saiyan God and later Super Saiyan Blue. I guess I can't call this my favorite opening from Dragon Ball Super because this animation can be very hit or miss at times, but that still doesn't stop Chozetsu Dynamic from fitting its way rather snugly into the Dragon Ball of Fame. Huh? See what I did there? Number 7.
Witness the ultimate battle between the greatest of warriors in all the worlds.
Take the grand tour, GT.
I know, right? Putting this opening above Chozetsu Dynamic is rather spicy on my part. It's rather spicy, but hear me out. Now, I would say that most of the reason why I rank this opening so high is due to the nostalgia, but after seriously analyzing this, the Grand Tour opening for Dragon Ball GT might be one of the best dub openings ever, right? Let's talk about it. I think a huge reason why many people, myself included, have waved the flag for GT all these years, despite its obvious shortcomings, is, well, the sound of it. You thought what Bruce Faulconer did with DBZ was a way to make Dragon Ball cool, but the Mark Menza score for GT is something else, man. There's a lot of detractors, but I like it, man. I like it. Real GT fans love the Mark Menza score. People like to say this soundtrack is repetitive and even drab at times, but to me, it gave GT such a sense of atmosphere, man. Especially the planet-to-planet space adventure from the beginning of the story about finding the Black Star Dragon Balls. But let's talk about the overall soundtrack. Let's get back to the opening. The Grand Tour rap is pretty much the entire OST wrapped up into one song. Just like the One Piece rap in most openings from when I was watching Toonami. I know this whole thing from front to back, man, and yeah, to put it simply, Shout out to Shorty the man, he kills it on his verse. From a visual standpoint, I would argue that this is actually way better than the Don Don Kokoro opening. That's much more slice of life, you know? But this opening showcases GT in a much more intense fashion. We see Pilaf accidentally wishing for Goku to be a kid again, clips of Baby and all of the various people that he has possessed in the series. We see the space adventures of Goku, Trunks, and Pan, including scenes of Legic and Cardinal Muchi Muchi. We see Super 17 and Omega Shenron, and this power-up scene of Gohan towards the end has always been goated. Goosebumps, here they come. Like I said, one of the best dub openings ever. I watch this thing at least twice a month. That's how good it is.
Step into the grand tour. Dragon Ball GT.
Number 6. You know, yes, man, I admit it. I was one of those people that gave Dragon Ball Z Kai the cold shoulder for the longest time because I had sold myself on this idea of Toei completely reanimating the entire DBZ anime to look like this opening here. It was everything I ever wanted because I've always been in love with the animation style and things like the openings for Budokai 2 and Budokai 3 back in the day, as well as the prologue chapter for Dragon Ball Sagas. It's a terrible game, but the way they reanimated Dragon Ball in the beginning was incredible. DBZ Kai wasn't what I expected it to be, but I will admit that it does still look really well with the recoloring in all fairness. And at the end of the day, the Dragon Soul OP is definitely up there with some of the greatest Dragon Ball openings of all time. It has all the components to be. It starts off rather introductory, showing off the original Dragon Ball crew before everyone gets shafted, of course, flying through the storm created by the Saiyan invasion until they reach up above the clouds. A rather nice visual metaphor, to be honest. We get introduced to Gohan, complete with a father-son sparring session, and the rest of the opening is just pure action. It changes as we progress through each saga, of course, but every fight is hard-hitting and just ferocious as hell. Goku vs. Vegeta is awesome. I love how Kaioken looks in the first opening. Goku vs. Frieza looks even better with the progression of Frieza's transformations, Super Saiyan being included, and both of them just wrecking each other's shit, all while Planet Namek is just collapsing in the background. And in the third version, all of the battles against each of the androids, as well as Gohan in his Super Saiyan form being placed in the spotlight between it all, is just excellent foreshadowing for the entire Android Future Trunks saga. And all of this is in that art style that I always enjoyed as a kid. Again, this is Yamamoto's character designs done right. That's all I can say. This opening is honestly part of the reason why I'll never look down on younger Dragon Ball fans that have never seen the original anime, even though you should still watch it. This is a lot of people's chala head chala, so I can't knock it, you know? Especially because the opening slaps. Still though, how great would it have been to have all of Dragon Ball Z reanimated? Well, not even all of Dragon Ball Z. To have all of Dragon Ball reanimated like this, or at least like Dragon Ball Super, you know? But then again, nah. Don't touch the 90s. You can leave it alone. Forget I said it. Number 5. As a kid, man, I was never that big of a fan of We Gotta Power. I mean, it was cool, but it wasn't no chala head chala. That's just all I'm saying. Still, though, this is the top 5. More specifically, though, this is the top 5 of Dragon Ball openings. So even though I've had my opinions on We Gotta Power in the past, I kind of have to recognize it as one of the greatest openings in all of anime history. And nowadays, I really like it. It's a phenomenal workout song. Get them reps in, son! Most Dragon Ball music is great for exercise for obvious reasons. Now, I will say this. These original Dragon Ball openings were paced a lot slower. Anime was different back then, you know, but I could argue that the actual themes were way better, way more anthemic at least. And if the scenes in the opening are sequenced just right, then you won't even notice the pacing difference, to be honest. you'll be way too sucked into the song, really. With the We Got a Power opening specifically, I'd say that the best aspect about it is definitely the storyboarding. The memories of the Android saga representing storm clouds in Gohan's life until the weather finally breaks, ushering in the start of a new era, also represented by Gohan maturing throughout the years as reflections in his Great Saiyaman shades. What a start. Gohan driving Vidal's car exactly like one of those old color spreads from back when DBZ was still in Weekly Shonen Jump. Again, the Great Saiyaman sunset scene that I spoke about earlier. Gohan unleashing a Masenko blast on top of this matrix grid. It kind of looks like one of those measuring cutting boards, like the real professional ones that they use for fashion design and shit. In some ways, this opening is more colorful and I'd say definitely more experimental than Chala Head Chala. Not only that, but you can clearly see how Gohan was being positioned as the new main character. We Got a Power is somewhat of a time capsule for a period in Dragon Ball where Goku wasn't the main focus. At least for a few episodes, you know. He showed up at some point, right? The music is trademark Dragon Ball, and the opening pays a lot of homage to the manga, even including a full cast shot at the end that perfectly adapts the character descriptions at the front of the Dragon Ball manga from the Blue Saga. Only reason why I guess it's not any higher on this list than this is purely down to subjectivity, because it's a certified classic, that's without a doubt, no argument. It just wasn't always one of my favorites. I don't know why. Shout out to Kageyama-san though. The GOAT! I haven't said that in a while. Number 4. What did I tell you? The best part about Dragon Ball GT, to me at least, is the sound of it. Just listen to it. I mean, well, you can't for copyright reasons, but go and listen to it after you finish this video. Don Don Kokoro is one of my favorite songs in all of Dragon Ball. Probably even next to my number 1 pick, no spoilers. The song and the instrumental especially fills me with such a sense of warmth and comfort. It's perfect, honestly, for what was the finale of Dragon Ball for a very long time. Even though the actual song is about a relationship breakup. Nothing to do with Dragon Ball. I know this man is canceled too, but look, man, I had the green brick versions of Dragon Ball GT back in the day. I will probably have the Vic Mañana version of this theme stuck in my head for the rest of time. Story time! While moving houses as a kid, which is probably how I lost most of my Dragon Ball merch, to this day, I still can't find the rest of my Dragon Ball manga. But, you know, there was this whole flooding thing too. There was about a week or so where I had no cable, no internet, nothing. Just a DVD, VHS, hybrid player thing, and both seasons of Dragon Ball GT that I watched for that entire week and nothing else. Again, this opening isn't as intense as the Grand Tour rap, but it does an excellent job at continuing that vibe of the original Dragon Ball. We start with Ultimate Shenron / Black Star Shenron, whatever you want to call him, turning Goku into a kid, and then most of the opening after that is just spent following Goku, Trunks, and Pan on their voyage through space to, you know, obviously age back up Pan's almost 60-year-old grandpa. We're just gonna skip right past Goku's dick here, thank you. We get to see Gohan, Goten, and Chi-Chi after the 10-year time skip, and in the second version we also get a glimpse of the fight against Baby, as well as a scene of Goku going through his different transformations, eventually ending with Super Saiyan 4, all of this being in tandem with the closing section of the song, which, yeah, the goosebumps. Dragon Ball GT isn't without its flaws, obviously, but who cares, man? Consider it a guilty pleasure of mine. I don't care. I would have ranked this opening number 2, but of course GT has its stigma about it. I'm trying my best to be at least somewhat objective here, and the actual song has nothing to do with Dragon Ball, so it is what it is. Still top 5 though. Number 3. Can I even rank these openings by nostalgia anymore? For the past like 8 picks, I haven't been able to properly discern which is more nostalgic over the other. I just want to be 10 years old again, man. That's it. existential crisis is kicking in. This opening right here is the beginning of it all, man. Before Heroes was a thing, before Super was a thing, before Kai was a thing, before even Z and GT were things, this is what Dragon Ball was, and I miss this vibe so much, man. There's barely any fighting in this opening besides a short clash between Goku and Yamcha. There's no crazy effects or animation or abstract backgrounds to spice up the visuals here. It's literally just a rather simple introduction of the Dragon Ball world before there were planet-busting aliens all over the place and universe-wiping deities in every episode. When martial arts still dictated the plot, I often look at the original Dragon Ball in the same way I do Naruto Part 1. I miss the humble beginnings, man. I will say that this theme definitely deserves its spot in the top 3, especially the English version. It's one of the rare instances similar to a few of the One Piece openings where I might actually prefer the English version compared to the Japanese version. My favorite scenes here are the one of Goku leaping off Mount Paozu, using the Nyoibo as the worst helicopter propellers ever. The lens flare here is amazing, what can I say? The legendary Kame Sennin himself posing on top of Turtle in front of Kame House. Again, the lens flare, man, my god. Bulma, Oolong, Yamcha, and Puar running in fear of Ozaru Goku. And of course, Goku poised atop his extended Nyoibo with Mount Paozu in the background. This OP is filled with a bunch of really fun scenes, but could you believe that there's a second version of this? I didn't. I never saw this opening as a kid, probably because the English dub never used it. But yeah, this is basically just an updated version of the previous theme. This time complete with Goku's orange gi, Krillin, Launch, Tien and Chaozu, Yajirobe, and even a Demon King Piccolo tease. All of the environments and the backgrounds here were given so much attention to detail, and I absolutely adore it. This entire opening really is just a microcosm of everything I love about not just early Dragon Ball, but earlier generations of anime as a whole. It's a classic. My entire top 5 are nothing but classics. Number 2. Man, what a stark contrast this is to the Makufushigi adventure opening, huh? I was just talking about my love and admiration for the graininess and the simplicity of 80s and 90s anime openings, but here I am ranking Limit Break Survivor above a majority of those openings. I guess what it comes down to more than anything is what the Tournament of Power did for Dragon Ball Super as a whole. I think we can all agree that until we got to the Zamasu arc that something just didn't feel right about Super. And even then, the Zamasu arc isn't without its very obvious flaws. Zeno, where's Trunks? Where's Trunks? The pacing was all over the place. The stories weren't connected to each other like they used to be. But once we finally arrived at the tournament that had been set up arcs ago, that's when it clicked in my head. It finally resonated. Oh, this is the Dragon Ball that I remember. Oh my gosh. The Limit Break Survivor opening only reinforces this sentiment, and boy does it start off strong as hell with Goku trying his damnedest to see if he can even make Jiren shake a little bit. My nigga stays stone-faced for the entire OP. The super Chad, yes he is, Jiren the Gray. And yeah, I'm just gonna break down this entire opening bit by bit because I love everything about it. It begins with all the non-Saiyan members of Team Universe 7 holding Dragon Balls, each with their own unique color. After this, we see Goku and Vegeta training as per usual, with Goten and Trunks popping up into frame. God, I really hope they get aged up in the new movie. In between scenes of Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan training, we then get glimpses of all 12 gods of destruction and their angels. And then as the actual tournament stage is constructed, we see glimpses of the many fighters participating in the tournament, like the Trio of Dangers, Damon, Ribrianne, Hit, Kale, and the Pride Troopers. And as you can expect, with Team Universe 7 marching towards the battlefield, as soon as the chorus comes in, it's nothing but chaos, really. Kaba powers up, we get a peek at Frost's other transformations, Kale goes berserk, Jiren gets serious, Goku gives Bergamo them fucking hands, poor Bergamo, and Vegeta battles against Ribrianne in a fantastic looking skirmish. Just look at it, man. Look at all of this. Then to finish it off, we see Goku going Super Saiyan Blue and taking one final crack at Jiren, this time in an all-out brawl that was so good they had to reuse it in the actual anime episode. We also get the scene of Goku hinting towards Ultra Instinct, which had everyone and their mom speculating over what the new form could possibly be back in 2017. Overall, man, this opening is everything I really ever wanted out of modern day Dragon Ball. The music really gets your blood pumping, shout out to Kiyoshi Ikawa, and obviously action isn't everything, but goddamn, man. I mean, goddamn. The fighting in this opening is some of the best Dragon Ball has to offer. How can you not consider this? Week to week, I was watching the Tournament of Power on Saturday night on the edge of my seat for what was going to come next. Then with the added aspect of YouTubers like Geekdom and Anime AJ providing us with the backstage reports and stuff on episodes like, you know, they were the dirt sheets in wrestling or something. It was just a moment in time I'll never forget, man. You just had to be there. This opening to me will forever mark the true return of Dragon Ball. And that brings us to, oh man, I've loved this list. Quick side note, man. Quick side note. I've had such a fun time putting this list together, guys. I don't think you guys know how much I love Dragon Ball, but I really fucking love Dragon Ball, okay? I don't want to be biased, but I think this might be my favorite list so far. Number 1. You already know what it is. I don't need to do my whole thing, you know. I mean, do I even have to explain this one? It's Chala Head freaking Chala. This is more than just a song or an opening. This is Dragon Ball, okay? I couldn't tell you how many times I've heard this opening and how many remixes it has. The original Dragon Ball Z anime, Dragon Ball Z Abridged, Dragon Ball video games like Budokai 1, Ultimate Tenkaichi, and Kakarot. I've seen this OP so many times over the years and it never gets old, which is crazy because of how simple of an opening it is. Even though it can't compete with the polish of a lot of modern series, a lot of those modern series can't compete with the heart and soul of these older openings, man. Chala Head Chala is a perfect example. I don't need to talk about the song. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, then you already know what this song is. Even if you grew up on DBZ Kai or Dragon Ball Super, you know what this song is, trust me. It's just one of the most iconic anime theme songs ever. Probably the most iconic theme song ever. Carrying on a similar art style to the original Dragon Ball, the environments all throughout this opening are incredible, especially in the first version of the OP, which showcases much more of the landscape in place of teases for the androids and Dr. Gero. The scene of Gohan traversing the mountainous area with Shenron piercing through the clouds in the background has always been one of my favorite scenes. This is great storyboarding 101. This is it right here. And the scene of Goku charging his Genki Dama is just as great, man. The body movement here is on point, and the grain of the spirit bomb inflating here is so 20th century anime, man. You just gotta love the 80s and 90s. I don't need to go ad nauseum about how great Chala Head Chala is. Everyone here already knows what this is. Hell, you've seen it 3 times on this list already. There's an English version, there's a German version, there's a Hebrew version, there's multiple Spanish versions, there's a Korean version, a Croatian version, a Portuguese version, a Serbian version. You name it! Clearly the anime, and by proxy, this opening has reached worldwide levels of popularity. Like I said earlier in the video, Chala Head Chala will never die. In the modern era of anime, Dragon Ball tends to get disrespected a lot when being compared to, you know, many other deeper or darker series, but I don't care what anyone says, man. Dragon Ball will always be my favorite series of all time. Toriyama Sensei, I'll forever be in debt to you for giving us this timeless series. And Toyotaro, keep doing your thing, man, with the Dragon Ball Super manga. You were once merely a fan just like the rest of us, and now you're carrying on the torch. Even though you get a lot of hate for your art, I still like you, Toyotaro. He gave Goku a Susanoo. The Moral Prison Break arc and the Granola arc have been some of the best that Dragon Ball Super has had to offer so far. But this isn't a rant about the Dragon Ball Super manga or Toyotaro. This is just a celebration of the Dragon Ball series as a whole, man. Long live Dragon Ball! And that was every Dragon Ball opening ranked from worst to best, according to me at least. And yeah, man, I wasn't expecting this video to be this long. An hour-long Dragon Ball video? Look, man, I'm here for it. I ain't complaining. One quick little story time before I go. I just want to show off the Dragon Ball merch that I have right now. It's not nearly as hefty as it used to be. Throughout the video, I mentioned flooding a lot, and yeah, that's kind of where all my Dragon Ball manga and a lot of my other manga went. I want to say this was either 2007 or 2008. One of those summers, it was August, you know, living in the Northeast United States. It's storm season, and when I was a kid, you know, I had like my little, wasn't really a man cave because I was only like 10 years old. I had a little boy cave in the basement of my old home. For whatever reason, I had all my manga kept on the floor. Long story short, it was a badass storm one night, and yeah, I went to go pick up my manga and the shit just fell apart on me. Worst day of my life when I was a kid, man. Like, I had to have a funeral for all of my manga, all the original 27 volumes of Naruto. Basically part 1 Naruto. Ruined. Every Dragon Ball volume, the original, that was my phone, every Dragon Ball volume. I had the first 16 volumes of Dragon Ball and then the 26 volumes of Dragon Ball Z. I salvaged like 1 or 2 of the Dragon Ball volumes, but the rest of them were just trash, bruh. So yeah, this is all I have left, and it's kind of depressing, and I'm currently building my way up. I still have the majority of all my Dragon Ball Z volumes. However, you know, as you can see, some of them are still kind of ruined. Like, there's covers missing and there's stains, and, you know, it's, what can you do? But yeah, man, that's it. That's all I got. Hope you enjoyed the video. In terms of what the next ranking video will be, looking at the poll that I put up about, like, it was maybe a month or 2 ago, Haikyuu is next. So, guys, grab your Karasuno jerseys. It's time to fly high. Until next time, I'm Charizma. Leave a like if I'm all right. Subscribe, please, because I'm broke. Share the video, you know, create some debates among your friends over what, you know, your favorite Dragon Ball openings are. And, yeah, man, see you next time. Thanks for watching. Sun time. Charizma. Whoa. Drop another bag, pop another tag. All my niggas rad, all my niggas chat. They be with the chatter, talking out they bladder. Pockets getting fatter, now it do not matter. Pop another adder, now I'm really focused. Gotta break the pattern, gotta be the opus. Yeah. If I'm the sun and that ass is on Saturn, fat. These niggas, they talk, but they really get clattered. They really get